So I'm going to explain to you guys why I'm out here cutting all the top of these columns off. Take you over here to the plans. This is a 40 by 80 building, and I have a 10-foot porch that comes off around half of it. What I did is when I poured this porch here, because this is already poured, when I ordered the building, we said we wanted a 10-foot porch. Like I said, this is already poured. I made it 10 foot from the edge of the keyway here to the outside edge. Okay. Some metal building companies do things different. Well, they all do something different. And a lot of them do something different. Even the same companies do stuff different. And you really got to pay attention to what they're doing. I screwed up. I missed it. It's all on me. I don't really have a good excuse for it. But so I have 10 foot from this edge to the edge of the porch. And that's exactly what this is going to be. This is my rafter coming off my building to the edge. So my column would be, if it was out here connected still or not cut, the edge of that would be exactly 10 foot. And the customer told me, you know, when we're planning this, that he wanted the columns out on the porch rocked probably about 3 foot up. Well, if you try to rock 3 foot up, the outside edge of that rock is going to be hanging off the porch. So I guess I had to fix it. So that's the best idea I could come up with. I really think this will be stronger anyway, because otherwise everything would be held up by these. There's 2 bolts on each side. There'd be 4 bolts, which I'm sure would work. It's not a real big porch or anything, but so what I've done is just cut that off, and I have some 3/8 plate that I'm going to weld on top of this. Then when I set the columns, I'll set the rafters on top of the columns and just weld it to it. So, and another deal is this one's not my fault, but the elevation change on this building, not the building itself, but the porches are screwed up. My keyway is 1.5 inches drop. Then I always slope my porches like everybody should do. I slope 1.5 inches or 1 inch in 10 foot just to keep rainwater from coming up to your house. But what they did is they only figured a 1.5 inch drop total on this porch. So I have to figure out how to elevate these another 1.5 inches out here to make up for the difference, to make up for the slope. And to do that, I'm just going to put some anchors down, then I'll just put some adjusting nuts on bottom of the anchor bolts and adjust it up. So that's not that big of a deal. It is irritating because I caught that actual in the approval plans, and they didn't fix it. They also, since this is a shop part of the house, I also caught this too, but they didn't do it. I tried to drop the floor down in the shop 1.5 inches because he's gonna have his hot water tank and some stuff out here that if hot water tank ever, you know, blew out or whatever, you wouldn't have to ever worry about water getting in your house. But they didn't do that either. So here's your doors. So I sloped everything in this floor out towards the doors. So which I could have done the same thing if I really wanted to, but it was just easier for me to slope everything out towards the doors. But anyway, that's why we're out here cutting all these up. and I got 1, 2, 3, I got 5 of them done so far. They sent me some primer. You know, I'll grind these down, touch them up with a little primer, make them look better, but it's just one of those deals where you gotta stay on your toes and really look over your approval plans before you sign off on them. But Metal Building Company did admit fault at some of this stuff, so I'll charge back a little bit for that, but it's not the end of the world. So anyway, that's a little better explanation of why I'm cutting these up.